and all of the beings that I connect with. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you to the Galactic Federations, the Systems of Light, the Archangels, and the Christ Consciousness throughout the multiverse, bringing us together in this assemblies of light for our connection and our expansion of who we are as divine light beings. Moving through a profound, beautiful ascension within the galaxy, within the cosmos of who we are as divine beings of heavenly light. And we thank you so much. All of you that are joining now in future now moments, my name is Celeste, also known as Joanna. And in the galaxy, I'm known as the Princess. Here on Earth, I'm known as the Galactic Princess. And I'm a conduit, a psychic, a seer, a healer, vibrational Christ consciousness healer. I'm also an author and a beautiful mother. And let's get started. So thank you for connecting with us today. We're gonna do an activation. We're gonna do a clearing and a cleansing, just so that you can feel how it feels to call in your divine light beings, your cosmic family, those of your helpers that are always in the cosmos helping you. They're always in your energy field. They're always with you 24/7. Your teams are always with you. They know everything about you. They know all of your timelines. They know everything that you've been moving on the sojourns of who you are as a divine being. So trust that you have these beautiful teams. Call them in and build relationship and connection. That's what we've called the process of alignment. And alignment is equal to, we talk about alignment all the time, and alignment is equal to connection and relationship. So if you're wanting a higher alignment within anything that you're moving through, you need to build a higher level of entrainment of connection and relationship. So a higher connection to your body, a higher vibrational connection and relationship to your body, whether it's the cells, the tissues, the brain, whatever it is that your multidimensional matter is, it's still multidimensional. So you're needing to create this beautiful harmony of a higher standard in these new light, the omnipresent light that we've just moved up into. Hello, darling. Hello, beautiful. And so we are going to do an activation today. Ooh, we're going to do a cosmic activation. I want to practice my new gifts. I'm just going to be reading the field of anybody that's listening now in future now moments, and I'm going to be pinpointing on things that need to be pulled out cosmically, galactically, meaning there's things that are rotating in your path of ascension and the spiral of ascension that is always now. It's never past, it's never future, it's always now. And so when you're pulling and picking those things and you're becoming more aware and you're becoming more mindful of who you are as a multiverse being, then you get to understand of why you're creating what you're creating, why you're calling in what you're calling in, and then look at the synchronicities, look at all of those experiences that you are having before you. As everything that is before you, everything that is within you, it's a matter of you becoming a higher attuned being, an ultra human, if you will. You're becoming an ultra human to know that everything outside of you and everything that is spiraling in your outer reality is just a seemingly experience of what is being pulsated from the inner realm of who you are. Subconscious is now becoming consciousness, and then the consciousness allows us to see who we are in the greater, grander perspective of all things. We're just going to note the Interpol communications. Interpol communication, we've just had 20 people sign on at once. And just know that your IP addresses are being watched by federal investigators, so just know that. And so wonderful. So we're going to do, we want to talk about your cosmic depth. Who are you in the vast cosmos of all that you are? How you're moving forward in the expansiveness of who you are. Remember, the consciousness is the inhale and the exhale of source consciousness, source creator. Source creator is the higher umbrella of all creational life. And so we want to move away from allowing church and state to be what it has, and you can pick and pull the best of church and state. But in these new trajectories of 5D New Earth Star, you want to be able to fall within the bigger umbrella, which is Source Creator. And that allows you just to put all those smaller beliefs aside and really step into these higher consciousness experiences of who you are as the grand multiverse being. We want you to fall in love with the cosmic depth. We want you to fall in love with all that you are as a Source Creator. And we want you to start activating all of those beautiful things that are in your field, those little packages of codes. These little packages of codes that are always in your field, and they're always used, as we call them, downloads. So your teams are always giving you downloads. They're giving you downloads to enhance who you are, to embrace who you are, to remember who you are. Sometimes we call them the little things that we leave in our physical reality that also remind us of who we are, how vast we are, and how deep we are with the multiverse, and how much we create for ourselves, future and past aspects, if you will. We call them touch points. And that means that various aspects of yourself are leaving you things in the physical so that you can remember where your path is and moving about your path in a synchronistic way, in a mystical and magical way, because you're always co-creating with you and the omnipresent. We talk about the soul's blueprint, and the soul's blueprint being between that sacred trinity of all that you are, and it always is this, it never changes. And it allows you to keep a very simplified notion of examining who you are, doing your daily ascension path work in a very simplified manner, because source creator God is always simple. It's always benevolent. It's always easy to follow. And if you're looking at anything else outside of you, because discernment is really important right now for everyone to pay attention to, the aspects of anything that is being confusing, anything that is telling you to go against universal laws, anything that's telling you to go against basic human laws of hurting people, is controlling and dominating over others. Those are all lower vibrational fear-based beliefs. And so really let them go and move into a higher trajectory earth, which is the universal laws we follow, right use of free will and non-interference. You don't need to interfere with anybody outside of you. You don't need anything outside of you, which is my soul's path and my soul's discrimination case. And all of the abuses that have happened to me since birth, just goes to prove, and it is validation of human proof, that you don't need anything outside of you to even survive, such systematic abuse and such, deplorable abuse. You only need what is within you as source creator and aligning with light, which is the name of my fourth book, The Alliance with Light. And so in these easy experiences, that sacred trinity that is your soul's blueprint, who are you, what you exist within, and what's going on within you, and all of these beautiful aspects throughout all time, throughout all of the universe that you spiraled in. This is the one universe, and it goes all the way up to the 13th dimensions. And all of these aspects of you that are the trickle-down effect of your guides and your teams and your celestials, just other aspects of you. And why we don't ever have to worry about, the light ships and the starships coming and assisting us, because they're always aspects of us. They're just waiting for us to prepare ourselves multidimensionally. We do have to prepare ourselves. We have to prepare our fields, because they are aspects of us, but they are in a rare purified form. And we don't want to have ourselves go into psychosis when we're standing in front of these very benevolent, highly, purely loving beings, because it does trigger what is not loving within us. So this is why we talk about doing the work. This is why we talk about honoring who you are, what you exist within, and going to a higher umbrella, source creator, and then doing the daily path work. Why do you do the daily path work? Why do you want to choose to work on your soul's progression and each standing soul's progression in the higher spiritual order? We are here as a spiritual being. We are here as a spiritual experience, and we're just in our human encasing. And so in that, how do we get through and how do we get by moving through this very important planetary galactic ascension? What do we need to know with planetary galactic ascension? How do we navigate these challenging and different waters? And how it is going to be opening up to us, and how we get really excited about, creating higher enlightenment, higher entanglement, and higher relationship and connection, really allowing us to align to a higher trajectory of being, that ultra human, that higher vibration of being. And so all of these answers are here for us, because our teams are always downloading all of these beautiful, wonderful experiences. That's just up for us to pick it up and then just start expressing. Expressing is so important to humanity. Expressing is very, very important for us to move forward in the clicking, the cogs in the wheel, as we're clicking into who we are. Right? We're clicking into who we are because we're understanding that we're all things. We are all things. We're not just this human being that's been fed misaligned church and state beliefs. That we can think about religion as being the box stores within a grand mall, and there's hundreds and hundreds of stores, and they all have different beliefs, they all have different perspectives, they all have different things you wear and the things you practice, but they're all just beliefs. Your beliefs about hereditary disease, it's just a belief. How you feel that your body can digest food, that's just a belief. Anything that you can think of is just a belief, and it is changeable and it's alterable by you. You have to take loving commandmentship of who you are in this new experience. The omnipresent, as we said yesterday, is feeding and vibrating to us a more purified, rarefied light. We know that. Everything in the cosmos is showing us these really strange and really epiphany type of transactions as the planet we're attracting many beautiful things, which means that we're going through a huge, profound change. Our planet doesn't want to behave in the same way. We don't want to see, things like meteors and things like that in the air. We want to be able to know that there's more and grand things out there. And these experiences just allow us to know that we're going through profound change, and we're attracting a lot to our planet. And just know that the galactic federations and all that is who we are as a planetary species and all that we are as a galactic species, those things will never ever hurt us or harm us. Only those people that choose to vibrate with their focus, direction, and intention will only focus on those experiences, and therefore they'll experience them. But just know that we want everything to be okay. Well, yeah, we want to know that there's more things in our galaxy. We want to know that they're connecting with, this beautiful Egyptian museum that just opened up, that allows us to know that, yes, we're threading our energy and our light and our vibration of consistency, because we're going to be moving forward in the congruency of all energy. The energies of Egypt are not cut off. They're now open now, and now they're getting the energies from who we are as an ascended species. right? So this is all just about timelines and energies just moving in a higher congruence, because we're now understanding that we are multidimensional beings, and when we accept and acknowledge and allow it, the 3 A's of alchemy, when we do these daily experiences and participation in the grander multiverse, then we can let go of the little things that really kept us so at odds with each other, at odds with ourselves. We don't necessarily have to sort out which belief is perfect for me. No, just move into the bigger umbrella of Source Creator. Source Creator is all experience. You are a spiritual being in a human body. And this human body has multidimensional needs now, because you're growing into being a soul. And as you integrate your soul fragments, right? As you integrate your soul fragments, all of these aspects of you that were wounded from 3 to 5D, every human is responsible for integrating 51% of their soul fragments throughout all of their time and space to become 5D, to move into the 5D gates of eternal life. So for you to move into the eternal gates of a 5D eternal life, right? Your fifth dimension, this fifth dimension here, for you to move up into this bandwidth of 5D light omnipresence, you need to integrate all of those soul fragments that were left out because of fractured beliefs, misleading beliefs, misguided beliefs about church and state. And this is on and off world as well. This is why sometimes we do have those mirroring perspectives of, wars and things that are going on off world that have been going on in the galaxy for eons. Because we were viewing and we were experiencing ourselves and perceiving ourselves from very limited lack experiences about resources and things like that. All you have to do and all you need is all within you. It is all Source Creator. All you need, as we talked about yesterday, even if it appears there's nothing, you can manifest something. You can create something because you're all Source Creator. You're images of Mother, Father, God, Source Creator. And so understanding the higher umbrella, understanding who you are, understanding and aligning with the higher spiritual orders, it just seems to flow more easy. It's just in alignment with natural order. So you don't have to worry about all of the little beliefs and the little box store beliefs that you've been trying to fit in and others have been trying to fit in. It's so much dichotomy, separation, discrimination. All of those things we're healing, which is a part of the 51% of karma. Everybody must transmute and integrate back into themselves, which means the 3 A's are going to be really important. Your 4th A is alchemy. And how you do that? By your 3 E's, by continuing to evolve. You want to keep manifesting exploration. You want to explore everything as much as you can. So yeah, investigate all the box stores and find out what's really right for you and just explore as much as you can. You're a cosmic being. You want to know and you want to be rich in capacity and aptitude. That allows us to be higher conceptually. Higher conceptually means that we want to start preparing our brain and how the brain functions. Because it does. I'm going to be doing a class. I'm going to be doing classes later on just on the specific brain and how light. I just got to get my paper. I'm channeling really fast right now because I want to make sure I get everything in. Right? Aspects of the brain and various aspects of the brain. Your teams add light to the various aspects of the brain through the corpus callosum, and then individual pockets of the brain is where your teams are going to be working on based on what you've cleared. How much of the dark and dense beliefs that you've held on to, like really big traumas that have affected your brain. If you're in environments that are very toxic, very negative, like dark occultism and satanic rituals and the misogynistic and the masochistic and the satanistic, all of those experiences are very dark and detrimental on the brain functioning. It's like impressing and forcing dark energy, and it's forcing narratives, it's forcing outcome. All of these things have so much pressure and so much strain on the multidimensional bodies instead of just allowing light to flow through. And there's a lot of detriment in the mental spaces. So there's going to be a lot of mental imbalances that we'll need to research and study on these various cults and covens, and the various things that have been done through the MK Ultra and various military programs and agendas that have been through human targeting and human hunting. All of those experiences must be studied for us to learn as much as we can. And then on the other end of it, part of my role in bringing higher vibrational light intelligence to humanity is also understanding what happens when light affects the brain. So those are the questions I ask all the time with my teams. Because when they are doing enhancements on my brain, I can feel it, and then I go to my sheet and I say, okay, what are we doing in this part of the brain? And then they'll tell me. And then they'll show me through a vision, kind of what they're doing. They don't open it up in any way by scalpels or anything that are so primordial. They do everything with light and sound. And so that's how they do all of the adjustments. And then again, remember, through higher order and through the highest spiritual orders, the only people that are allowed to do anything with your brain, obviously, are your 7th dimensional beings and higher. Because they're experts, that's what they do, that's their passion. They don't get paid for what they do. They do everything out of unconditional love. They do everything out of where they've been in their sojourns and what are their expertises and what are they coming forward to assist in the Father's plan for evolution for all of our multiverse. And so part of my excitement, because my higher guide his specialty is brain enhancements and brain improvements, through light. And so he's the one that operates on me with the light tools. And so I see sometimes in the recalibration chambers and all of the beautiful beds that I sit on in the light ships, and I'm shown, kind of what they do, because I'm so excited about learning about the brain and light. So they give me aspects where I can just see myself raising above the consciousness, and while they're doing those experiences on me, I get to see it, because I'm always asking, so that's part of my excitement. So that's part of activating, right? That's activating the things that are in your field is called downloads, and your teams are always depositing downloads. And if you're excited, then every morning when you're doing your daily ascension path work, you're sitting there and you're allowing yourself to just kind of tap into who you are as an ultra human now. Who are you as this multiverse being? Because you know that you've been on, when you wake up from your rest time, you've got all of these extra experiences in your body that you're now feeling, right? You want to feel the capacity of you, want to feel the higher aptitude of you, but then you've got to practice in training it. As we said on our post this morning about our meditation, do your path work, have yourself a journal page where you're touching on the physical, the mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual, all aspects of you as this multidimensional being, and then just encapsulate it in a few good things. These are the things I'm focusing on this week. I'm going to focus on healing my sexual energies. I'm going to focus on my sacral chakra. And then you look for 2 or 3 things that you can do to improve your sacral chakra's, health and healing and its oscillation. And just by focusing on a few, 2 or 3 things that you can do every day, while you're just affirming and you're bringing affirmation and you bring visualization. Those are the fastest ways to change the multidimensional molecular experience of who you are, is through visualization and affirmation. This is why we always say in every one of our videos, speak out loud. Your cells in your body wants to hear you. You're commanding the cells in the body. You're commanding replication at a new state, and a new pace. But you're embodying it with love, and you're embodying it with Metatronic light. You're embodying it with who you are now as this bigger, grander umbrella as multidimensional Metatronic light. Has nothing to do with religion. It never did, it never will, right? We're not going to get into the whole thing about how we misinterpreted religion and the downloads of, the very sacred scripts way back when at the very beginning of time. It was humanity that placed all of these sacred scripts into things called religions, and they boxed them up into little box stores, which people are holding so tight to now that it's ultimately killing them. Their beliefs about, who they are and what they thought they were in all of these different religions. A lot of people have been so skewed and so injured, as we know right now. Many of the people that have been attacking me for so many years, as well as the discrimination of Jesus, his crucifixion. We're now seeing things in different ways, and how these beliefs have skewed us, how the beliefs have not brought oneness and harmony. They've not allowed us in that natural order of flowing to see all aspects of humanity as one, because we are. It is under the law of one. If you want to do any research about the law of one, there's wonderful videos about the law of one. Any books you can find about the law of one by the original writers. They were channeled material. They're just extra things that you can do to enlighten yourself about what is the light body. And so these are all things that you can look at and look into and research. And of course, all of our videos, I think there's 860, we all talk about the higher consciousness of who we are as ultra humans, who we are as becoming ultra humans, who we are as just letting go of all those lower, smaller box beliefs about what we thought we were, what we exist within, what's going on within us, and we're arising to a new experience. Who are we? What do we exist within? What's going on within us? And how are we maintaining and vibrating and creating a higher trajectory timeline? We always want to be in alignment with the sacred trinity of our divine soul's blueprint. Our trinity is always what? It's our soul's blueprint was designed by the heavens at the very highest of the 13th dimension. So we always want to have the heavens that we align with, right? Every day we align with the heavens. Every day we align with our divine soul's blueprint. It's very, very simple. Ascension pathwork is very simple. It's just getting to know your way, getting to know who you are, and being very intimate with who you are at a quantum level. Getting to know who you are at a multidimensional level. We want to start building your capacity and aptitude to being higher vibrational. How do you behave in this higher vibrational reality? How do you behave and really tap into all of those things that were showing you, those touch points throughout your whole life, were showing you that you were really an advanced being, but you didn't have the materials or the teaching materials, the higher light wisdom intelligences to show you how to really start manifesting and being this higher vibrational aspect of you. Many of the beautiful entertainers, the ones we're not talking, the ones that have been harvesting me, we're not talking about those ones. We're talking about the entertainers and the singers that have had beautiful careers as being so highly creative. They're interested in music, and they're interested in art. They're interested in writing. They're interested in acting. All of these beautiful are true talents. They are the crafting of Source Creator. And because they've been, living their lives within their soul's exploration of expression in different forms, right? they haven't really recognized themselves. Well, why have they come with such a package of an array of talent? And because they have transcended the conformed abuses of systematic abuse in the industry, because there has been, and we've seen many stars and we've seen many talents that have not made it through. The ones that have made it through, they've allowed themselves through their higher mind, having such a connection with the God mind, because that's the only way you're going to get through such abuses as I did, was because I've had a very substantial connection with my higher mind. I knew that there wasn't anything that was going to sway me from being who I was going to be. And when that connection of the higher mind remains, then anything that is within the industry that tests and taunts you, those devil taunts, they're not going to take that spirited aspect away from you. That spirited aspect is always going to be you. You're always going to be that connection of spirit, matter, body. So it's very important to understand that. But to understand your soul's blueprint of all the cogs in the wheels working as one, who are you multidimensionally? Who are you in the matter form? Who are you as spirit and soul? Understanding that all those soul fragments are just allowing you to be more the completed dodecahedron, all lit up. You know, it's not shaded out because it's all dark because there's too much density in there, because nothing's moving. There's no light getting in there. No, we're going to start breaking that density up. We're going to show you how to heal and clear and do the daily path work every day so that your soul's blueprint, who are you? What do you exist within? What's going on within you? And you can touch point what's going on in your reality and just bring it all together. And you say, yes, I get that. I understand why that's happening. I understand why I manifest that. I understand why I manifest that. And you and your team start working more intimately together so you can really have this beautiful, super mysterious, mystical experience, which is always meant to be. You're meant to be hand in hand, foot in foot with Source Creator, Mother, Father, God. And I show you that in my sessions. I show you Father is with me. Father speaks with me. And that's the gift that I have as being a conduit. It's a very practiced skill through many, many eons and many, many timelines. Your blueprint consists of the heavens that design it right at the 13th dimension and all of your oversoul. Why are you coming here to this earth? What are your gifts and skills for your expression and your 3 E's? And in that, your oversoul is going to assist you with the trickle-down effect of activating you with your downloads, activating you with healing, your multidimensional healing, activating you with your enhancements in the brain, that you must have the enhancements in the brain to allow yourself that higher capacity and aptitude of higher concepts, of multidimensionality. Multidimensionality concepts are not anything like 3D. So you do have to be enhanced in the brain. Because we want to be able to create from thought. We want to dematerialize and materialize. We want to be able to traverse wherever we want to in the galaxy. We want to be able to bring all that we are as these creative geniuses, really. We are creative geniuses. And we've only tapped into maybe a minor percentage. But we want to know that in the sacred trinity of who we are, the blueprint of who we are, it's all we really need to start manifesting and start exploring really deeply the widths of who we are as creative humans, the widths of who we are as ultra humans, and the magnificence of who we are as creator gods in the image of. So the blueprint does consist of the heavens organizing it and putting forth a soul's blueprint for you. You and Source design this. You and Source at the highest capacity of you before you enter the earth. It takes on and it understands all of the other timelines that you've existed upon. It understands where you're spiraling, all these aspects of you, what dimension, what are you working on as far as wisdom, what are you working on as far as, different attributes of being a master, whether it's peace, whether it's harmony, whether it's patience, all of these things, they're all being a part of incorporation of your soul's blueprint. And then you do have to have part of your blueprint in your collective. How are you offering yourself? How are you expressing yourself, the 3 E's, to your collective? And then also Gaia. So all of these things within your sacred blueprint is what we talk about in our ascension sessions. It's what we talk about in our classes. It's all that you are. Your energy is always activated. Your energy is always healed. Your energy is always grounded. And you're always held within the dimensions of those 3 things. So when we talk about your soul's blueprint, yes, we're going to tap into things on other realms like the 8th dimensional Pleiades, 12th dimensional creators, all of those things in the multiverse of where we are right now. They go right up to the 13th dimension and they're always with you. They're always connecting with you. They're always talking with you. Your teams are always there. And we talk about them in our classes here just to get you used to knowing that your contact team, your species teams, Systems of Light teams, which is what I belong to, the Systems of Light, also called the Galactic Federations. And we are now creating, we want to remind everybody that we are in the Assemblies of Light meeting right now. So we're going to call to a meeting. We're going to call to, call to begin the Assemblies of Light meeting, which are offshoots of the Galactic Federations and all the councils and all of the experiences that we belong to in the Galactic Federations and the Councils of Light and the Star Councils, and all the beautiful things that we do to study who we are as a species, to study other species, to study who we are within the Father's plan of evolution and how light affects us, how we're moving through in various challenges, how we're moving through with various many things that have been done on humanity here, very horrible things that we need to talk about and face. And then we're going to be doing research on it and how we're transcending and moving beyond it. As an ultra human, I'm very lucky that I have had the health and the teams that I've had to repair my body. Otherwise, I would not have survived. I would have not have survived without my teams repairing my body every night. And we talk about that all the time, the recalibration chambers, right? My teams have had to rebuild me. I think they said that I was brought back to life 4 times. And then just repairing, from the, they didn't do a very good job with the replication of my DNA of when I was born. I was supposed to be a hybrid species, obviously, because that was their intention, but they didn't do a very good job of replication. They weren't as advanced, obviously, as the celestial teams are at replication. And so they did have to do a lot of correcting. And then throughout my time here, who knows how long that is, because I'm always moved back and forth in timelines and moving back and forth in the multiverse that we talk about. There's a triad of universes that I move in and out of based on threading and healing timelines and threading and healing those interwoven cross-connecting points within the multiverse. As lower timelines are pulled out, there is energies that are brought in by Source Creator, and then I work with Source Creator to harmonize those energies into the collective. We ultimately want the collective to be as high consciousness as possible and really get you excited about all these things that you can and have the possibility to potentiate, to think and to conceive and to write and to draw and have these new creative expressions that is going to be, instead of the industry, we're going to have it and we're going to recreate this beautiful arts and entertainment field. And this field is an infinite, omnipresent field. It is Source Creator moving in and about each and every one of us. And that's why we want to think about it as an infinite field, right? The toroidal that you sit within is being activated all the time by these sparks of inspiration. Spirit is all about being in spirit of, the inspiration of, and we are each being creators of these infinite potentiation fields of light, infinite potentiations of fields of source. Right? The omnipresent is infinite fields of Source Creator. As one of us is being activated in higher consciousness concepts, it's trickling effect and it's creating these quantum little light bubbles that just bounce off all the different fields within creation. So as this person gets activated, it's going to activate this person and this person just in different ways, because it depends, again, how much of their DNA has been activated. Are they in high capacity or aptitude? Are they learning about higher consciousness things? Are they sitting down and entangling with their teams? Are they being active participant in their growth of their soul's progression? So those are the things we talk about on this channel. We talk about the soul's progression. How important is your soul's progression? How important it is for you to transmute the energies of lower vibrational beliefs and perspectives, right? Throughout all time, each of us have to do that. We have to call that in and say, no, I want to release those beliefs. It's not where I'm rotating anymore. It's not where I'm resonating anymore. I want to be a bit higher vibrational. So how do I do that? So I put in one of our old meditations this morning that I got a lot of great response on. It's a 50 meditation. It just helps you entrain yourself. It helps you talk your way into the visualization process and affirming. Those are the highest things that the Octarians showed me a long, long time ago when I came up with my entrainment loop. And this is the divine relationship entrainment loop. And don't forget, I have books out there as well. My energy is going really fast today, so I'm just trying to get it all in. Because I know sometimes I always leave here going, oh, I forgot to talk about that. How's everybody doing today? You're doing good? It's going to be a really big show. This is our triad of the universe. So if this is our universe right here, there's always a universe that's lower and a universe that's higher. So as these energies are always, this is what God is. God is the ultimate alchemist. So as God is pulling in the higher energies from this higher universe, it's letting go of the lower universal time span, which is 3D. As we've been saying, there's no more 3D timelines in this galaxy, right? So there's no more 3D timelines. You can't reincarnate next time around and be another human to get these, these very simple soul progression lessons of do unto others. So this is why, owning corruption in this now moment and healing it and speaking out on all the things that we've seen and we've known and we've been a part of, how humanity has been ripped apart through disruption of discrimination and separation and judgment, and really harmonizing our beliefs in unity consciousness, because we can see what's gone wrong, right? These lower vibrational timelines have now been cut off, and Source is pulling those timelines out, and those people will be on their journey to the lower Epstein Earth to finish creating and moving through their choices. Is always free will, and there's no judgment by Source. It's always free will if their soul wants to continue living out their soul's expression through corruption, through their lack of self, their no sense of self, or greed, or envy, or gluttony, or selfishness, or all of those things that incorporate the Epstein Earth. They have that right to do that, but they're no longer going to keep harvesting off the star seeds. They're not going to keep impaling the star seeds. They're not going to keep raping the star seeds. They're not going to keep, this is why the black web will be pulled. Because timeline by timeline, these lower timelines are going to be pulled. And that is the timelines of trafficking. It is the timelines of organ harvesting. It is the timelines of starseed harvesting. It is the timeline of all that we've been calling trafficking. There should be no way at the intelligence that we have on the planet at even a 3D level, but we want to raise our consciousness to 5D because everything we do to anybody else is we do to ourselves. And why the children are not wanting to incarnate here. So why there's been a lot of people on our planet finding them having, trouble and issues with having the conception process, because the higher vibrational kids they're not gonna want to incarnate here when the trafficking is the way it is, when the perspectives and the beliefs are the way it is, and there's no healing in this experience, and everybody knows what's going on, and nothing's being done about it. And then in every community, they have the bullies of the playground, the cults and the covens that are being paid by sometimes these shadow governments to continue the bullying process and the intimidation process, so that trafficking rings can continue. Fraud and RICO rings can continue, and this goes on in every city. That's exactly what happened to me. I had no idea that I was being sold back and forth into the black web. I had no idea that there was false marriages going on. Nobody owns me. Nobody had any right to that. I wasn't even told. I wasn't involved with any of these people, but they knew who I was spiritually. They mined into my Akash illegally, which is a higher Akash spiritual knowledge. So my role here is to take my life experience, take my life stories, bring them forward into teachings that can make sense, so that everybody can go away and start practicing higher divine, intelligent light wisdoms, which is what should have been taught in the very beginning, not the focus on religions, because religions just keeps us in separation and segregation. They're lower box door beliefs. We want you to go to the highest order, which is your Metatronic light systems, and be that higher light intelligence, because you always have been. And so we're just explaining to the process of ascension. What happens in this triad of universes? Well, it's no different to the micro macro of us. As you're pulling out those lower subconscious beliefs, these lower subconscious timelines must come out. We cannot operate in this one local universe if this lowered vibrational timeline is still in this vibrational rotation. No, it's going to be pulled out. We're going to call a higher vibrating ring in, and it's going to be alchemized into this new universe, which means now that we've been talking about for some time, we've just gone through a couple of gateways where Gaia has amplified her energy. So the Schumann resonance has moved up, the light omnipresent has moved up, and now everybody is now rotating and harmonizing their bodies into a higher vibrational core vibration. So you have to keep up with the Earth's, basic resonance. You have to keep up with it. And to do that, there are simple things that we talk about. We talk about these simple things through affirmations and visualizations, doing your daily meditations, doing your daily path work, working on those things that are triggering you, working on those things of those older subconscious beliefs that are, bubbling underneath the surface, but you find yourself moving through life and not having any more higher creativity. You should. In your ascension path work, you should always be coming up with higher creativity, because our brains are moving into a higher capacity and aptitude, which means we're coming into those really sparks of light that God gives you, Source gives you. If there is an asking, there's an answering. So if you're asking Source and working with Source in participation, a higher alignment, relationship, and connection, if you're doing that on a daily basis, which is what I teach you, is all we talk about, then you're going to be asking for and you're going to be receiving the downloads. You're going to be receiving the things in your field. You're going to be receiving the things that allow you that higher capacity and aptitude. You're going to have these little sparks within your field. Those little sparks. And these little sparks help activate your field. We talked about it a couple of videos ago, but those sparks are always going to be in your field, but you have to activate it quantumly by the interest and the activation and the engagement of actually creating. When you engage with whatever's in your field, if it's an inspiration to write, if it's an inspiration to tell a story on stage, whatever it is, you're activating quantumly through action what is in your field to be played with. Right? It's just like having the clay and you're sitting at your table and the table is going around and around, but you're not touching the clay. The properties of that quantum equation are there, but you're not engaging with it. Therefore, then it's just going to be a lump of clay. You have to engage with what's in your field. You have to engage, as we said, get in the elevator, press the button. So these are all asking you to move about this quantum equation, be a part of the equation. As Source said, walk with me hand in hand, step in step. That's God. God is with you. God is every one of these points. Because you've been asking for, I'm attracting these experiences where I want higher collaborations. I want people to collaborate with that are not going to spellcast on me and not going to rape and steal and harvest from me. No, I'm worthy of a higher vibrational collaboration now. I want people to invest in me. I want people to help me travel the world so I can heal people. I want to travel around the world and I want to be on stage showing people these multidimensional images. I want to be teaching people the activations of who I am as a multivibrational healer. Because I activate. My energy field sends out pulsations of activity. That's me. My toroidal is constantly sending out light. Right? That's what my field does. If you stand next to me, my field will simply activate your field, and it will start to smooth out and take out some of those densities. My field always activates those in front of me. So that's part of my role too. I'm an activator. I activate and I see to the soul's blueprint. I activate the soul's blueprint. And then tomorrow or the next day or the next day, you're working and you're clearing some of those energies. We're going to show you in a minute now. We're going to how to clear and cleanse. And then you have those potentials and possibilities to start feeling yourself as a higher vibrational being. You have to engage. You have to engage in source. You have to engage in the omnipresent. You have to engage in the quantum energy that's always there. You're never separate from God. God is the omnipresent. God is the field. As you breathe in, as you exhale, inhale and exhale, that's God. Now, how are you going to intend it and visualize it? How are you going to attend it and create your cells of higher health? How are you going to attend it and visualize it for higher creativity? How are you going to attend it and visualize it as your connection with all your teams? Because you are and you will, and you always have been. This is about being ultra human. You're going to take yourself to this next level. You want to match the omnipresent of the higher consciousness field, which is 5D. We're going to go through the 5D gates, but the energy here, the quantum energy here is a bit more purified. It's a bit more rarefied. The earth is turning in a bit of a different way because all of those corrupt timelines have been pulled out. We just now to operate and educate and bring new knowledge and bring higher knowledge as to who we've always been. We studied it in Egypt in the ancient temples. And now we're going to start studying it and we're going to start being these higher vibrational intelligence light. And we're going to practice it every day. And we want to be able to do the 3 E's. The 3 E's is all we care about. 3 E's is all your soul ever wants to do. Right? It is really simple. This is your soul's blueprint in action. And we show it to you every one of our videos. So go back, I've got like 800 some odd videos. And just give yourself a couple of days to integrate. When you're going through a big process of consciousness expansion, you need to give your body and your mind and your energy fields time to integrate and process what you've just downloaded. So that's why we talked about the cycles of ascension, and that's what my book talks about. My books talk about integration and processing. You've got to give your mind time to integrate what you're downloading, integrate. So before we do our clearing, my mind is always going faster than my mouth. Did I just have, there it is. There it is, it's way under there. Right, one of my books, Ascension Pathwork. And then 5D Consciousness is my first book. It's quite chunky and quite, it's got a lot in it. It's got a lot in it. And so that just gives you a rundown of who I am and what we do and what we talk about on my channel. And we're going to do a clearing and a cleansing, and we're going to do an activation so you get to know how to do it. Go back to my channel for today. I posted a meditation that takes you through a visualization meditation for 5D. So you can download that and practice it every morning as part of your daily path work. Okay, it was one of my more popular meditations way back when I first got started a long time ago. And I had a beautiful person that was helping me because he was a musician, and he was actually helping me do all my videos and do all my music and things like that. So I had him to work with, and he was working with me, and he was quite a lovely man. He still does music. And then they got into all this corruption and stuff, and everybody started ripping my life apart. And so that all went to the wayside. But then I get to rebuild it, and I get to do it better this time. So it's always, there's always a benefit to it. We wanted to make one more comment because it's what we've been talking about, just to kind of close it off before we do our clearing and our healing. So just get yourselves comfortable. I'm talking about this one really quick topic. We've been talking about for quite some time the various frequencies of planet Earth, right? And how and why you believe what you do. How and giving yourself permission, which you can think about right now. I'm going to give myself permission to move in a higher rotation. I want to move into a higher entrainment. You're moving on you're moving away from the karmic path, which is always the more negative, discriminatory judgment, all of the things of church and state that have kept us separate and kept us suppressed and kept us silenced. And then we're going to move in our divine sacred heart, which is the very center of the diamond. It's the very center diamond that sits right within your chest, right here. That's the divine sacred heart. That is the mechanism for your chakras above and below. That's the mechanism that helps balance all that you are as a multidimensional being. And you can even find it on the Shroud of Turin. You'll see this beautiful diamond that is on the Shroud of Turin as Jesus ascended. He did leave an imprint from his sacred heart. So that's what we call that. And I was the only person on the planet that was given this, by the way. So this is how you know this is my material. It's my intellectual property. They're from my downloads. It's from my connection with Source Creator. It's my connection with Jesus, because I am his twin ray. So these are all my experiences. They're all my downloads. It's my information. It's my copyright. These are all my stories. Nobody can replicate my stories. These are my stories. It's about my life. Because there are people that have been copying and taking and stealing and raping my life while I sit homeless on the street. It's not okay. And this is why everybody's going through karma, because I've called it. And that's my commandmentship. I get to call judgment on all of you that have done so much horrible things to me. I didn't deserve what you have done to me. So no more you cannot use my intellectual property. You cannot use my name. You cannot use my stories. These are my stories. You cannot make a story of mine. You cannot make a movie of mine and then sell it on Netflix. You cannot do that. You cannot put me in a so-called Truman Show and then have you make all of the money. And these are all my ideas. They're all my stories. They're all my intellectual properties. They're my downloads. It's my visions. It's what I see. It's my work. I've worked for it. I've earned this over thousands of lifetimes. These are my gifts. You can't say that they're your gifts and you go and sell it to Netflix and then leave me on the street with absolutely nothing. I've been paid nothing by anybody. I've never signed anything. I don't have any co-creators. I don't have any partners. I've never signed anything to work with anyone. But the people from Calgary and the Calgary cult and the shadow government and everybody that have been involved, we talked about the 45 to 200, all of these people have done nothing but rape, along with the handful of the entertainers in the industry that have been harvesting me off forever. They're not allowed to do it anymore. The cords have been cut, the fields are coming down, and there will be charges laid because there's investigators all over it now. And they find the infinite pages of harm and crime that have been done. And this is, partly in part why the government has been shut down, because they're really putting a crackdown and they're really trying to weed out the organized global white collar crime. As you can tell, when they signed on. As soon as I went live, there was 20 of them signed on. It's a global organized crime network. And a lot of them are white collar criminals, warped Masons, 33rd degree, whatever, people that are in the industry, people that are judges and policemen, and all of these people that are getting paid to take our lives, to take our creative craft, because they don't have any light. It is the most highest commodity on our planet, is our life force. And if you don't know how to use it and work with it, that's what I teach. Again, higher light intelligences and the wisdoms and the teachings of this, the higher light intelligent teachings. This is what we need on our planet, so that everybody can go in and work with their light and teach children how to protect their chakras, how to protect their fields, knowing when they're being harvested, and all of those things that have been happening in the RICO black web crime rings about having your soul and your energy fields sold, and you don't even know you're being sold. You're being harvested and you don't even know you're being harvested. All of those things. Except when your life goes to shit and you just keep getting bad luck and your body is going through constant deprivation of energy and light. You should always be increasing in your light. Your body should always be increasing in light. You should never have to be on the street like me, because there's hundreds of people harvesting from you, because you're hybrid, because you're a high functioning being, right? So wherever you're rotating in your infinity, you can choose to do higher entrainment and move more into higher vibrational experiences by giving your body light, visualizations, affirmations, and just in training yourself into a higher experience. But those that are in the lower experiences, cults and covens, all the things that we've been talking about, the abuse of energy, the abuse of magic, the abuse of dark occultism, the abuse of sacrificial rituals, it's, again, we've talked about it, and what it is the people that have been gathering have been misguided, they've been misinformed, they've been under wrong information, wrong knowledge. So we're bringing forward higher vibrational information about spiritual knowledge. Higher spiritual knowledge has nothing to do with religion. Why people are what they've done and how they've done is because they've remained in this lower box stores about their religions. They've been hiding behind their religions about these human made up things. And that's essentially what they are. A lot of these cults and covens are just these made up things that they want to hide behind. And then they'll call them a religion and they'll work out of a church. And we're finding that many of the churches are corrupt and they're not even anything that they say on the big sign on the door. They're actually, lower vibrational satanic. And a lot of these are the global organized crime networks. And they're just using the churches as tax write-offs and their masks for their affiliated trafficking business and RICO businesses and crime rings. So that's going to be coming out, as we've seen in the news. All of those things are coming out. But what we wanted to say today, and why we're going to do this healing, and we're going to do this clearing, and why it's so important to know. that because we're moving in this great expansionness of humanity stepping up into a new consciousness level of who we are, what we exist with, and what's going on within us, the only three questions you need to ask yourself every day to ascend, to be a higher light being, to be a higher version of yourself, those are those only three questions, and then those three questions can go in an infinite number of spaces. And as you can tell, if you're a proper conduit, if you are tapped in with your teams, if you're aligned with God, if you're aligned with your higher mind, if you're aligned with your higher mind, you can go anywhere with anything we've just said. If you're not aligned, you won't be able to. Because you're not aligned with light, you're not aligned with your God mind, you're not aligned with any of the dimensions above you. All it is lower vibrational copied material. They'll only be able to regurgitate what they've copied, and they will not be able to go to the highest access of light. So that's how you know somebody that's true, somebody that's a false prophet. So be discerning. In these cults and covens, when they have been doing their conjuring, when they've been doing their rituals, when they've been doing what they've been told, it doesn't matter how they were told, it only matters. When you choose to do such conjuring, voodoo, or satanic rituals, sacrificing, if you're doing rituals to certain deities, if you're doing rituals on the dead, if you're doing your graveyard dances, your graveyard rituals, if you're doing blood work, toilet water work, jar work, mirror, whatever it is you do, you play and you abuse magic. You're not using it for your health because you're interfering with other people's lives. You're abusing the first law of universal laws, which means your teams are going to start taking away their support. They're going to start taking away their protection of you. Because if you're not following the universal laws, you will not be protected by the galactic federations or the systems of light. And your guides and your teams and your ancestors will start stepping away from you. And you're going to start manifesting your demise. Because what you put out is what you get back. What you put out is what you get back. That is the infinity. Until you realize, until you sit down and you start asking yourself, who am I? What do I exist within? What's going on within me? And do I really need to abuse magic? And really do I need to use magic 24/7 to get what I want? And again, if that's all you're doing, then you start healing your lack of self. Because life isn't about just getting what you want and the stuff and about false clout. That's not what it's about, never was, never will be. It is about the 3 E's. Exploring all that you are, expressing all that you are, and experiencing all that you are as a soul. Your soul's progression, your soul's expansiveness. That's what it's about. That's why we are all here. That's all your soul cares about when you pass over. It will always be about those 3 to 4 E's. It's not going to ask you, did you collect enough money? Did you have enough trips to Europe? Did you get enough stuff? Did you do enough spell work and sacrifice people so you can get more stuff and get more stuff in your banking? It's never going to ask you those things because that's not what matters. It's your ego and why that ego wants to have those things and get those things and stuff, because you're not practicing being a higher abundant soul. You want to be rich in abundance of spirit. You want to be rich in abundance of care. You want to be rich in abundance of compassion. You want to be able to know that quantumly, you're tapped in with all creation, whether it's a bug on the side of the walk or whether it's a bird or an animal or whether it's a child that's crying. You want to have compassion for all that is life. You want to be in there and experiencing life as it's happening. That's being rich in spirit. That's being tapped in and turned on. Not ignoring and walking by and hitting and sabotaging and striking out and sacrificing and attacking, which is exactly what these cults and covens have been doing. They've been using and abusing dark occult magic to go in and have their targeting people that they target, and they start transferring over their ideas, they start transferring over their work, they start swarming and suffocating and hitting and content stealing, and they start slowly raping and just deconstructing that person systematic abuse-wise. A slow dagger, it's called in the Mason world. And they start attacking the person physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, and financially, and they start ripping apart that person. Some of them have been the shadow government, and some of them have even used military experiences like biochemical and military warfare, like the MK Ultra, which I've also experienced and I've survived. So why these cults and covens do it is because they're wounded at their soul level, and they haven't chosen to transfer and look at the face, the wounds that they're trying to run from. This is why they do remain within lower vibrational groupthink. Most of them are on drugs. Most of them have mental imbalances. As I've said for 6 years now, get them assessed immediately, because now they're in the danger zone because they're not being fed any light. And they don't know how to get light from within. All they want to do is take, rape, and steal, because they have been used and they have been brainwashed and mind scraped, as we talked about in other videos. And this is parts of the MK Ultra program, parts of the Project Stargate program, where they're using mind manipulation. Various satanic groups use mind manipulation programs, and they're just using those aspects of the lower vibrational people that are mentally vulnerable, easy to sway, easy to mentally abuse, and they're being used, and some of them were paid by the governments, the shadow governments, to continue to attack those of us that were targeted as starseeds, as light workers. I was always known within the prophecy on our planet which also, again, they raped into the Akash to verify who I was spiritually. And God allows these experiences to go to, to continue so that we gain our power and our strength of who we are, to make sure that we're coming up with all of the wisdoms that were kept inside of me as to how to heal, how to create healing systems, how to create higher vibrational intelligence systems so that we can start teaching the collective on how to reclaim our power, to reclaim our light, to know that nobody can have anything over you. They cannot destiny swap. They cannot soul suck you. They cannot abuse you in your sacral energies through sexual harvesting, and which is done usually at nighttime, or through the sexual orgies, which was done to me for many, many years since I was a child. All of these things are done in lower vibrational Illuminati families, those that have been spun from the Illuminatis and those that do the satanic rituals, Rothschilds and all of those experiences of the very elite. It's been done since the beginning of time. But anyways, we want to get to this point. In all of those things that people have done to get wealthy and to get and to take and to get and to take and to get and to take, very gluttonous, greedy, misguided, very warped, very wounded people, and why they do what they do. Because essentially it all comes down to they're very wounded people. We've been talking about it for so long, and they follow me and they stalk me and they harvest off of me because they know I'm of great light and my light can feed a whole community, a whole city. That's not the point. The point is these are very wounded beings, and they can go within and get their own light and start manifesting their own light through entrainment and through all the things that we teach, but they chose not to. They chose to stay wounded. And so this is now where the government and certain federal agencies are now getting involved in the global organized abuse systems of the hunger hunting programs that humans have been going through. Ultra-humans and starseeds and higher functioning and all the light workers that have been attacked. So it's now being dealt with right now. It's now being fully investigated right now. But what we're finding in these cults and covens that have been doing so much, we want to make it very clear and want to have this caveat that is absolute truth. It will absolutely follow through and is absolutely part of the consequences. If you choose to continue going down these paths of doing your rituals and doing your satanic rituals and all the things that we've talked about, the things that were done with me, 3,000 curses and 3,000 hexes and sacrifices and all of those things to target and attack and break someone down vibrationally. If you choose to do this, what is happening now is it is now returning back to your families, and it's turning back to your lineage. It's turning back to you as a person, as a soul, and it's going back to you as a lineage curse and an ancestral curse or hex, which means that even though you might think for the short term that you've had money and you've had short-term fame, and you might have that money in the bank, and you might think that you're important, and you might think that you've built a name for yourself because you did these rituals and you sold your soul in certain of those rituals to say, I'm going to give my power away to somebody else, to a lower vibrational demon or a deity, and in the short term, I'm going to get the return of money in that because I want my abundance. I want to be abundant. I'm going to sell myself to this deity. I'm going to give this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And you sell parts of your aspects of your light, your energy, and this deity will assure that you'll get the money. However, part of the exchange and why everybody has always known that is part of selling your soul. And we've said from day one, you don't need to do that. You're misinformed, you're misguided, it's wrong knowledge. You can do it this way if you want, but because so many people have done it this way, the Epstein energies and the underground and the industry, and why it's called the industry is because of these types of energies and practices. And parts of the trafficking that goes on in these underground industry parties, where they have children that are walking around and the children are then being trafficked for different rituals and different trafficking sexual experiences. And they're all very debaucherous. It's all very illegal. That's why they do it in the secret. That's why they have these hidden parties. All of these things that occur is various aspects of raping and misusing and abusing the life force. And so they're doing it in a negative satanic experience. They're not doing it in a positive way where they're honoring their life force, and they're going about doing it where you're not abusing spiritual laws, you're not abusing your soul laws, you're not abusing your conscience. So there's two ways that you can do it. The very karmic Epstein way, where it's raping, taking, and stealing and harvesting, because you're not abusing, you're not choosing to heal yourself, you're not choosing to get your light within yourself, you're not choosing to honor your own life force, you're doing it in abusive ways. They're very, very illegal. It's against every spiritual law, and you're going to get karma for it. So what these people are now knowing and realizing, but you have to heal it yourself. Because if you call on somebody like me, I'm going to say the same thing. You have to go and heal it. These people are now finding that although they might have a little bit of money, although their names might be known, and they might be kind of a star, maybe, because it depends, again, is that your compass? You know, you think you're a star and you think you're important, but how did you gain it? You gained it by selling your soul and doing things that your souls and your spirit's not happy about. So how are you going to karmically reprimand it? How are you going to bring it to balance? You have to alchemize your karma, your 51%. So everybody's facing their darkness now. Everybody's facing their shadow. You have to face every deed that you've done. You have to make sense with it. You have to bring it to redemption. You have to bring it to balance. You have the scales. Anubis walks with me. We're giving you higher order. To pass through my gates of 5D, this is what you need to do. You need to redeem and alchemize your deeds. So now we're saying, we teach you how to do so. And if you've done so, and if you sold parts of your soul for short-term pain and short-term finances and short-term this and this, because that's always what it is, you will have to alchemize, you will have to make sense, you will have to make right on your deeds. You might have the money in the bank and you might be somewhat famous if that's what you wanted, if that was important for your soul. So now you're going to have to look at the other side of the dodecahedron. You're going to have to look at the other side of the wheel of fortune. You're going to have to look at the other side of how things always flip and the cycles are so important. You have to look at it. Those were the shadows. Those were the negatives of your soul's expression. You now have to make right on it. You now have to look at all the things that happen in your family time after time after time after time, because it's going to come back to you. Your family might have accidents. Your family might be sick. You might have people in your family that are constantly going through diseases. They're going through cancers. They're going through losing their organs. They're going through this. They're having their cars being repoed. All of those things, the bad luck that happens in your family. But you might have a little bit of money in your bank account. You might be a little bit known. B list, C list, whatever your list is. So then you got to look at what's going on in your life. Who am I? What do I exist within? What's going on within me? The guilt and the shame for what you've done and why you've done it. Look at your beliefs. Look at your perspectives. Put it on the table. Work it out with your guides. Work it out with God. You're going to have to make right on it. Because the only way to release those demons, which is what it is, you conjured a demon to give you benevolence and abundance. That benevolence is never going to be benevolence. It's all you do it for is money. We said that yesterday. If you sell your soul on behalf of the money, you're going to have to make it up somewhere else, which means that you're going to see your family get sick. You're going to see your family start to come down. The walls of your family is going to come down. The walls of your foundation is going to come down. You wanted the money. You got the money. Now what? As we keep saying, now what? Anything to do with Epstein world and Epstein earth is now what? You can keep doing your sacrifices. Now what? So you've taken 8 people out and you think you're really popular in the underground for sacrifices. Okay, now what? You still have to redeem yourself. You still have a lot of karma you ought to clear out. Now what? Again, I'm tapped in, I'm turned on. This is who I am. It's my ranking. And we can go around in 100,000 different ways, and I can keep saying, now what? Keep doing all the arrogant and ignorant things that you do, and now what? Your children are going to keep getting sick, and they're going to keep getting blocks in their life. Because when you chose to take something and not focus on the other parts of your dodecahedron and your soul and why you're here and why it's so important for you to tune in and align with the relationship of source, align with the relationship of love and unity. But you chose not to do that. All you cared about was money. And so in that, you chose to sacrifice, you chose to lie, you chose to go into court and make false claims on your ex-wife because she wanted a divorce from you because all you did was lie. All of these things have to be made right on. The cult in Calgary. And you know how many lies you told on me? You can't even count it. And in every way, your family is going to experience everything that's going in negative ways. Because the energy has to be alchemized, and you're not alchemizing it. All you're doing is playing victim. You chose it. You chose your rituals. You chose your dancing on graves. You chose the thousands and thousands of rituals that you did every day and the conjuring you did every day to force and to manipulate and to absolutely dominate certain people's story because you wanted them as your character in your story. And it's against spiritual law, you don't get to. But because you are so arrogant and you are so enforcing and you are so insistent on your story being the way, you paid people to lie in court, you paid the police officer to ignore this, you paid the judges to ignore that, you slept with one of the court people, and you did all that you did in the corruption of being you. So now it's time to pay up. Now you have to look at the damages done. You have to look at your beliefs and your perspectives of why you did what you did. Everybody in the cult and all 200 of you. Why did you do what you did? Why did you believe you had to? Because they were all based on absolutely 100% wrong information, quantumly wrong information. You made up those beliefs and you made up those perspectives. It was absolutely and utterly wrong. And now all the quantum energy is coming back to you. And it's going to come back to you in various ways so that you absolutely see your family will suffer. Your family will have blockages and stoppages. And the energy will be in your house. The demons will be in your house. You're going to wake up in your little nightmare torments and all of these things that are going to happen in your life. But you're going to have a little bit of money in the bank because that's what you wanted. So now you have to look at the scales you created. You chose that. You chose money to be over family. You chose money to be over love. You chose money over doing things right. You chose money over doing the right thing. And you sent an earth angel out to the street. So now all of you are going to look at your scales that you created. And the only way to get rid of those demons in your house, to get rid of the demons in your lineage, to get rid of the demons on the curses and the hexes that you've now agreed for the rest of your family's timelines. You took the insurance on the money, you took the monies, you went to Europe, you did all of your things, you got your house, you got all your fancy stuff, you got your Gucci shoes, but now what? Now there's going to be a demon running around in your house and it's going to eat you from the inside out. And the only way to deal with that demon is to look at what you did while you did it. You have to alchemize. You have to do the 3 A's and you have to alchemize that beast you created. That's called the belly of the beast. And I've met 100 of them because each and every one of you sent every one of those demons at me. But guess what? I alchemized each and every one of them. That's why I am where I am. That's why I'm ranked. That's why I get to speak and I get to teach. So now you'll get to go through the process and you will sit down. You're not going to get a penny from anybody and you're going to look at your karma because you got to. You're going to be the lesson for the rest of humanity. If you want to keep doing these low vibrational cult and coven crap ass rituals and experiences where you're interfering with other people's lives, you're interfering with their energy, you're harvesting off their life force, you're sexually raping them in their dreams, and you're trafficking and you're recoing, and you're doing organ harvesting. All of these things we've talked about. You might get the money short term, but let me tell you, you're going to die a very slow and painful death by the demons that you've conjured that will sit in your house, that will sit in your vessel until you alchemize it and you face it. And the only people to get rid of those demons is what? Is what? Is what? Say it, everybody. What is it? A healer like me. Because you haven't been doing the classwork. All you've cared about is targeting me and hating me, and every time I sign on, it's proven. When I upload my videos, hundreds of my views are being pilfered, and my dates are being messed with. There's the organized crime that still continues every day, and I'm silenced every day. And I'm the only one on the planet bringing the highest light, wisdom, intelligences to show everybody how to reclaim your light, how to reclaim your power, and start getting back on track. It's either that, or you'll be shuffled off to Epstein Earth, and you can sit where you sit. And didn't we say that a long time ago? Because you're going to hope one day, dear lighted ones, that you harvested off of me and you left me homeless and you left me for dead. And all of you thought that you were so important. While I was absolutely having no food and no nothing, while you partied and you had your little sex orgies harvesting as much as you could off me, leaving me absolutely exhausted because you sucked every ounce of light from me. And didn't I say, you better hope that one day that your children or your families don't come down with anything and the demons that you've conjured, because the only one that can heal that and the only one that can extricate these demons from your home is a healer like me. Because you don't have the ranking. Because you haven't been focusing on your ranking in the way with God, have you? No, you've been attacking everything with God and of God as God. So now you're being shown your teaching. You're being sat down. Satan, Lucifer, whoever you've been conjuring, because they don't give you power. And each and every one of them will show you who God is, who is aligned, who is the conduit, who is the prophet, who is the seer. That is why I'm lifted. And we told you that, didn't we? We've said all of these teachings before. We've said these teachings. We've offered it freely. Nobody's paid me for these teachings. I get donations. That's how I eat. That's how I get a warm meal. Otherwise, I live in the street until my monies are returned to me that have been fraudulently taken and stolen. Like anybody had any right over my life, and they don't. I'm a genius. I'll run circles around you in criminal court because I will sue each and every one of you. Maximum sentencing. And you wonder why the things are happening in your house. You wonder why your children are feeling the way they're children. You wonder why your children are waking up with marks on them. And you're waking up with marks on you. Because you're in a spiritual war at night. And your children are doing everything they can to stay alive against these bullies in the spirit realm that you've conjured. So cults and covens, you tell me for the billionth time, as we're talking about this for the last time, that's the compass you want to align with? Is your little cult and coven disgusting array of conjuring, hate and bullying and intimidating while your house is going downhill fast. And your children are doing everything they can to survive the enormous devil-ass energies you've chosen to conjure. So that you can throw them at one light angel, one angel on earth, so that you can have your way and you can be paid by the other big bullies. And that's your compass. These cults and covens, you have been misguided and misinformed. Now you have a lot of negative karma and a lot of things you have to face, and you will face it. You will sit down because you had no right to abuse, to take life out. You have no right. Nobody on this planet has any right to sacrifice any. Sit down and put your egos in check. You've been misinformed. And anything you conjure to go to anybody else is now sitting in your belly. It's called the belly of the beast, and you must go there. And you must alchemize it. You must face that demon. You must face that shadow. And you must get right with God. Has nothing to do with religion. It never did. It's who are you? And what do you truly exist within, and what's going on within you? And we've said these teachings every day for the past 6 years, and I've been completely ignored. Now you're having to face exactly what we've been saying. And you're each going to face it. It's your karma time. You're not coming back to me. We're not going to be buddies. We're not pals. There is nobody from the past that will ever be allowed back in my life. The damage has been irreparable. The damage has been done. I've slept on the streets. I've had no home. I've had nothing for a very long time because of you. Because of you. And you've exploited this suffering and you've made money off of it. The only way to repay me and to start redeeming yourself is to send the money to my bank. Any pocket watchers that you send are going to be dealt with immediately by the higher heavens and by the various aspects of the investigators on this planet. I am very well protected, in spirit and on land. Better bet that you'll be dealt with. Even one step forward. My ex from Calgary, stay gone. Everybody my ex deals with, stay gone. You want to make this right, make the paperwork and the document to my bank, and I will read it thereof. If there's anything nefarious, it won't find its way to me because I'm that protected. Keep playing your little games and you're going to keep going off to Epstein Earth. I don't have any need for you. Your conversations and your confessions don't mean anything to me. As I told you a million times, leave me alone. I don't want to keep saying it every time I come on. Deal with your karma and go get healed and get assessed. Get a mental psychiatric assessment and then go to the authorities and tell them your story. Who paid you? Who directed you? These corruptions will stop. This is my garden and I'm not going to accept it any further. So you must have a higher knowing, dear lighted ones. I'm teaching you higher spiritual knowledge to get through the gates of anything, to ascend and to transcend. These are the things you must know. Anything you ritualize and anything you spellcast and any voodoo that you do, it's coming back to you now, now, now. And the only way you can alchemize it is by going to the belly of the beast. You can't just willy-nilly abuse magic because you want stuff. And you want people to be attracted to you. And you want the sex. And you want the girl. And you want. You're very wounded. Sit down and get healed. My goodness. Little misbehaving children. You've been talking to you as if it's a kindergarten. The children on this planet act far more mature than these people do. And it all began with the divine masculines not facing their sexual repressions. Divine masculines get healed. Face who you are. You are here to protect life at all costs. Not be an advocate for selling children in the trafficking rings. And not forgetting these warped Mason groups that are selling whatever they can sell. And selling their wives and sisters and brothers and cousins in these black web RICO rings. It's being cracked down on. Everybody will be found out and your deeds will be known. Alchemize it. Take the lessons and alchemize it and heal. That's your greatest lesson. Be the dodecahedron and heal. The same message for the last 18 years. Divine humanity. Please sit down and heal. Unity consciousness is the only way through. It is the only way. Walk in truth and be truth. Be the vibration of truth. Be your core vibration of truth. Don't sway. Do the pathwork daily. And make it right when you do something wrong, when you hurt and harm others, when you destroy somebody's life, when you defame somebody so much so that you have their name in the underground porn network and you're making money off of it. While they're sitting in the street with 10 cents in their wallet, you better be making it right. You had no right to defame an earth angel that did nothing to you. You forced your way into my lane and I called you out and I'm going to keep doing it. Anubis and I, that's our job. Take it up with God. Step out of my way. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to take my throne and I'm going to teach as many people that want to move through the 5D gates. Get out of my way. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So I've got 130. So that's just, we want to say that about cults and covens, those that do the rituals and those that do their conjuring. It's going to come right back in your home. If you're noticing things in your home, if you're noticing your children have bad luck, if you're noticing your children not get where they need to go, if you're noticing their children being blocked, all of these things are doing with and have to do with exactly with your ritualizing, which we told you. Everything you put out is coming back to you, and that's your compass. So now you're facing what you created. So now you have to alchemize it. You have to face it. Face your demons. You absolutely called it in. You called it in, you ritualized it, you called on those deities. And now those deities are beating the crap out of you in spirit realm. In the nighttime when you go to sleep. That's why you wake up in the way that you feel the way that you do. That's why your house is feeling the way it is. That's why your cats and your animals are going the way it is. That's why your cars are breaking down. That's why your bad luck is happening. Why? Because you cloaked it on me for the first 50 years. Everybody that was involved, you had so much fun impaling me and impounding me with your bad luck, with your crap. Until I got smart and I got wise and I created my own healing. I created my own healing because I was tired of living in shit when all I did was do good for people. I woke up. And now I'm saying to everybody else on this planet, wake up, people. There are those that will harvest off of you. There are those that will never want you to do or be anything higher than what you have always been, because it's easier for them to harvest off of you. It's easier for them to take off of you. It's easier for them to do whatever they can off of you. But your job here right now is the 3 E's and the 4th. That's all your soul wants. Explore all that you are, experience all that you are, and express all that you are. We are creative geniuses. Get out there and reclaim your power. So let's do a meditation and let's do a healing right now. We're going to show you how to do it. We're going to show you how to reclaim your power. We're going to show you how to clear your fields. We're going to show you how to clear your chakras. And we're going to show you how to reclaim your voice. Your spirit needs you. Your spirit wants to hear your spiritual voice. You are a quantum being of godliness. Who are you? Say it out loud. I am a quantum being of godliness. I am the quantum image of Mother, Father, God. I am divine feminine energy. I am divine masculine energy. I am harmonized as one. I heal all my triggers and soul fragments. I am whole. Anything that comes up as a trigger, I will heal. I know myself. I know how I feel. I pay attention to how I feel. I'm connected with spirit in all moments. I want a rich relationship with me as spirit. In, of, as spirit, I am that I am. That's what that means. Say it again. In, of, as spirit, I am that I am. That's what that means. My voice matters as my manifestation. My voice is connected to my cells. My voice is connected to my spirit. It's vibration of knowing, delighted ones. When we moved things in the temples with sound, that's what we did. We moved it with the knowingness of vibration and harmony. The consciousness of sound, the consciousness of knowing, of the alignment of who you are. Source creator. Sound is connected to all that is. My consciousness is directing energy. My consciousness sending love to each and every one of you. Sparks of love, sparks of love, sparks of love. To be higher vibrational, you're not going to be in the low 3D monotone living. It's monotone down there. Everything is the way it is. And it's okay to be like that for a little while. But then you need to snap into a pacing of who you are. Snap into the pacing of who you are. I'm aligned with light. I'm aligned with light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I feel good being light. My voice is commanding of thyself. Sit with a straight back, delighted ones. We want your pillar of light opened. The pillar of light runs along your spine. It's a crystalline pillar, and it feeds your chakras. It feeds your multidimensional body, your matter body, your cells, your blood. Call in light, call in the crystalline light. As you take a full body breath, not little short breaths, we want full body breath. You want a full body inhale so that cavity of all that you are moves up. Full body breath, breathe in, crystalline light, breathe in, crystalline light. Breathe in, crystalline light, and you'll feel yourself burping, releasing energy, releasing density. Open up your chakras, open up your fields. I call in light. Your teams are with you, their teams are next to you. Your teams are soothing and massaging and bathing you in light. Visualize crystalline light and crystalline codes. The Christed codes, Metatronic codes, bathing you with your highest and your best, of the highest version of you in the 13th dimension, the highest version of you in the 12th dimension, highest version of you in the 11th dimension, highest version of you in the 10th dimension, highest version of you in the 9th dimension, highest version of you in the 8th dimension, highest version of you in the 7th dimension, highest version of you in the 6th dimension, and 5th. And we are now entering into the 5th. And sound and love and crystalline light, bathing my chakras and fields in light. See your teams and your celestials, and see your higher self and the angels, bathing you with light from the heavens above. Open your third eye and close your eyes and just ask for the visions of just being bathed in light. Allow your body to receive. Continue your full body breaths in the inhale. The inhale, you're moving with the consciousness of God. The inhale is calling in light. I'm one with the omnipresent. I call in light. My inhale is the calling in of light. My inhale is the harmonization of relationship. I'm relating with God. I'm relating with God. All that I am is godly. All that I am is godly. On the inhale and the exhale, I'm godly. I breathe in light, I exhale light. I breathe in light, I exhale light. I release what no longer serves. I release all worry, I release all shame. I reclaim my power, I reclaim my power. See yourself being bathed, your chakras being bathed, your fields are being bathed. The 8 to 12 foot field that cycles around you, your aura, your fields are being bathed with crystalline light. Take a full body breath. Feel light bathe you. Feel light move the density. Feel light move the shame. Feel light move the guilt. Surrender it to Source Creator. I surrender all darkness to Source Creator. I ask my higher self to release all density. And if you'd like, you can move your hand as I'm moving it in the shape of the infinity, with one of your palms facing up on your knee and the other hand doing the infinity. And visualize your fields being bathed in light through the infinity motion that you're doing. And you'll feel your field of energy, you'll feel your field of quantumness start to give yourself goosebumps, and you'll start to feel your hand vibrating. You feel your cells vibrating. You feel your field vibrating because you're commanding it. So now use your voice as the commandment of spirit. I'm activating my field with love and light. Now your actions and your words and your inspiration of spirit, your commanding spirit to be an omnipresent. Does that make sense, dear lighted ones? Thought, word, and deed, you're now harmonized as spirit. Your hands are moving in your field as spirit. And your body will be able to show you. You'll get goosebumps. You'll start to feel the vibration in your hands. You'll start to feel your field resonance. The oscillation of your field is picking up. The oscillation in your hands and your cells are picking up. Can you feel it, delighted ones? Say out loud. You can feel it. Isn't this amazing? This is what spirit feels like. This is godly. Now you know what we're talking about. Why it feels so good to be godly. But you must practice it. Get in touch. Have the alignment with Source Creator. Source with you all the time. Say, come on in, Source. Let's play. Let's play, Source. Now we're all playing with Source. Now can you send beautiful love and light to your day? And have your infinity hand just send love and light to your day. Love and healing to my body of love. I love my life force. I love my life force. Sing it, speak it, whatever you wish. Your cells need to hear your voice that is you. Your spiritual voice is your commandment voice. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Reverence and gratitude is all you need. Aligning with your heart space is what you need. Purity of heart, dear lighted ones, and you start playing with God in new ways. Hand in hand and foot in foot and shoulder to shoulder, God is with you. Hand in hand, foot in foot, and shoulder to shoulder, God is with you. Send loving light. Send light to your day tomorrow. Send light to your day the next day. Send light. I send light. I send good luck. I send good luck. I send light to my house. I send light to my home. I send light to my bedroom where I sleep. I send light to my cells, I send light to my cells. I send light to my organs, I send light to my organs. I'm a higher being of ultra-human. I'm one with God, I'm one with God. He said, my we want you to be as vast and as wide as you are, as cosmic beings of the holy light, dear lighted ones, as you are, you always have been. You belong to all planets, dear lighted ones. You've always been. Your DNA is a representation of that, dear lighted ones. Stories within you. You're from all planets and all spaces and galaxies. But you're just having a human experience. But the gift that you've been given this timeline, dear lighted one, is to wake up within your human body, to become cosmically, universally aligned. And when you do, you activate the allness of you. And your body's going to start to show you. You feel goosebumpy and you feel good and you feel finally aligned. You finally feel free of what's been inside of you turning and churning and you just can't put your finger on it. But now you are. You're activating your soul, dear lighted ones. Parts of your soul that have never been talked to or spoken to, never wanted to be harmonized because you didn't know, you were never told. You've got a whole soul inside of you that wants to speak and sing and dance and express yourself anew. You're infinite, dear lighted ones. You're from the Pleiades. You're from Sirius, A and B. You're from Arcturus. You're from the Andromedas. You're from Cassiopeia. Beautiful, gentle people of the light. I see the Cassiopeians as yellow beings. That's how I see them. Beautiful, gentle beings. They look like light zetas, but they're yellow. A little soft yellow like citrine. The light zetas. They're an offshoot of the grays, and we are assisting the grays in revamping their ecology of who they are. We're assisting them with our DNA to become Christ consciousness. It's the hip thing to do in the galaxy. I want to explore Christ consciousness. It's how we evolve into eternal life, and we thank the Pleiades. The Pleiades have given us their DNA for us to evolve into eternal life. And we say gratitude and reverence to all that we are as species from all over the galaxy and the multiverse. As we learn about each other, we release our transgressions about one another and our differences. And we seek the beauty in those differences and create unity consciousness and build bridges to our lighted ones. You never have to do anything or take anything outside of you. Simply just be you. Be the diversity of you. Be the eclecticness of you. Do you feel the depth of who you are, dear lighted ones? Are you cosmic? You can say it out loud. I'm going to practice some of my gifts and skills, dear lighted ones. We're opening to the cosmic boards of the galactic federations and the assemblies of light that each and every one of you are a part of. We call these sessions the assemblies of light. We're opening the New Earth Star assemblies, through which we're open communication and open preparation of who we are in receiving our celestial teams and receiving our celestial downloads of our DNA, our activations, and preparing ourselves to become deeper and wider as cosmic beings, higher vibrational humans, higher creative expression humans, to be more of who we are in the soul of who we are. And in such, we want to tap into any of those beings of the highest consciousness of our teams and our families and our beautiful teams of guides, our celestials that are in the light ships of every night, and they follow us all the time because they love us unconditionally, and the galactic federations through Commander Ashtar, and all the beings of the species of light that I belong with. I love them so. The insectoids, the beautiful beings that are with me all the time to help me refine my sensing and my tuning. They're constantly working with me and how I read energy. They're constantly giving me these beautiful insectoid healings. I love them so very much. They make me cry. They just love me, and they dote on me. I love them so much. They love me in the galaxy. That's where I go for my love. That's why I need my imagination. I need my expansiveness. I need my depth. It's where I feel most at home. My higher consciousness. It's never really felt like home here. But this is our job in this New Earth Star, so that we make all the diverse hybrid children that will incarnate here, because they see that we're working things out. that we're committed to creating a peaceful earth with no more corruption and no more trafficking and no more harvesting of their precious souls or their organs. We want them to stay here and to know that they are held safely and they will not be raped or harvested. So just take a deep breath in and open your divine sacred heart space. Put your hand on your divine sacred heart and call in all your soul fragments and call in your light. I call in my light. I call in all my aspects. I call in all my energy. I surrender to my higher self, the gateway of who I am as God. I'm calling in my teams, my celestial teams, my angelic teams, my angel and my fairy teams. Is there any messages telepathically that you'd like to connect with and commune with? Practice the clairs, clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizant. You just know what you know. Know that your teams are going to activate you to be a higher sensing being. So you're going to be led through life through synchronicities. You're going to be led through life through the little things that happen. That's the gloriousness of God. That's being in the image of God. You move through your energy. You move through your life through the energy symbols, through your synchronicities, through the operation, the order of operations. If things must take place before something else must happen, it's going to be like this, especially as we're moving into new timelines. Things must be closed out to open up new beginnings, new experiences, new tribe, new collaborations, so you can expand who you are, dear lighted ones. Now I'm going to surrender to my higher self. Is there any telepathic messages that would like to come through for the collective? Otherwise, just focus on your third eye. Ask for images so you can practice your clairsentience. What are you feeling? What are you knowing? Clairaudience. What are you hearing? Sounds and ringing. Insect sounds. The audibleness of God is everywhere. And we all know that. Lots of studies with flowers and plants and the sounds they make and the songs they make. It's very real. The harmonies of creation. We are all on a vibration. We are all vibrations of source. Eshanaya. I love you, I love you, I love you. Is there any words from the Celestials that would like to come in? Any telepathic questions you'd like to ask in the collective? Just ask through your heart telepathically. Is there a question from your heart space telepathically you'd like to ask your guides or you'd like to ask me? Please send your telepathic question into the cosmos and it will reach me. Our hope is to have global experiences where we can meet with the public and have the public connect with such visions of sight as a movie screen where we're playing certain images. And we're creating sound healing. And you get to meet with me in person to have the activations in your fields. And those will be worked with in the future, as soon as it is safe for me to do so. Somebody's asking about polyamorous experiences. I have not had any of those. No, not myself. Because we've talked about the energetic mess that it has created and that many find it a challenge to understand and sort out who they are when they're sharing their life force with many. And the many that they're sharing their life force with are coming with entity attachments and negative energies and negative thwarting experiences, and they're being bound and they're being rooted as they're having these sexual experiences, or they're thinking about other people because they want to manifest. And all of these things create very dangerous psyche experiences that have them breaking in psychosis. And it's very dangerous. And therefore, that's then many of you have experienced many sexual diseases. So these are the manifestations of your irresponsibility of your working with your life force. If you want to be polyamorous, you must be mature and must be responsible in having those communications. This is what I like. This is my exploration right now. And then you need to have the communication so that everybody that you're with is working on their energy fields. Otherwise, you're still going to be sharing your life force with those that may not want to work on their energy and don't care to work on their energy, and also share their life force with others that aren't working on their energy. Therefore, then it's an energetic mess. And why I've stated many times, I'm not interested. Don't ever come towards me if these are your interests. I'm not interested. I'm not gay. I'm not poly. We've discussed this 100 million times. Don't come at me. I will never be okay with this because I'm a conduit. I feel everything to the nth degree. When people have had sex orgies trying to manifest off me, I actually feel it. It's disgusting. You don't have a right. It's illegal. And why you're all getting karma. Polyamorous experiences are fine and well in an ascended state if they're all working on their energies and they're all healing their triggers and they're all connecting with who they are with spirit. If they're not, you are connecting with those that don't work on their energy. Therefore, thus then, you will get their entities, you will get their dirty energy, you will get their dirty source energy. They're not working on themselves. If they're not working on themselves, their life source, their life force is very low. Therefore, thus then, you've attracted it, you've manifested it, so go fix it. Most of the people in the collective are not awake. Therefore, thus then, they have a low life force. That's why you like to share polyamorous. You want as many partners as possible because you want to harvest off of it. It's been used and abused. Therefore, thus then, you're going to get the STDs and you're going to have to suffer through your diseases and your experiences until you learn the lesson. You don't need multiple partners. You just don't need it. And if you do want multiple partners, you have to ask yourself why. Do the work, people. We come back to the same circle of experience. Do the work. Why do you feel the need to have many partners? Because you don't want to be questioned by anything. You don't want to face who you are. You're going to have to face who you are. Some people, when they get into a relationship, they have the relationship for a little while, and it goes a little well and good, and then they go out and find another person because they're getting bored. Then they want another person. Then again, they bed hop. They have so many partners, they want to have everything open. They don't want any commitments. They don't want to be tied because you don't want to face who you are. Heal who you are. Face it. You will not get away from this. You will not get away from it. And you're going to keep manifesting ignorance. You're going to keep manifesting low knowledge. You're going to keep manifesting disease. You're going to keep manifesting karmic partners because you're choosing not to heal. You're choosing not to be advanced in your intelligence. You're choosing to treat your body, your mind, and your soul, and all your repressions. You're keeping them repressed. It's exactly what happened in the 1950s. You're repressing what needs to be faced. That's what you're doing. When you're bed hopping and you want open, you never want to deal with what is. So fine, deal with it. As long as you're telling all of your partners, this is what you want, this is who you are. Just know that you're sharing your life force, which is diseased. The one that's speaking with me, you do have energies in your field that your life force is very low vibrational. Your life force is diseased. Your life force is not healthy. You need to go get checked. Your life force is not healthy because you don't care about it. There's no respect. There's no self-care. There's no self-love. So start there. Heal, people. You think it's all great to say I'm poly and everything is open. Is it? Is that your compass? Because if you look at the other side of the infinity, you have exactly all of the negative experiences that you have to face. You don't have anybody that really knows you intimately. You don't know you intimately. You haven't known yourself in a very long time. There's no connection with God. There's no connection with your spirit. There's no connection with your life force and your special body. There's no connection with a special body because you don't have one. You've told yourself you don't have special body. You've told yourself your life force is not special. You're sharing it with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Or Lucy, Patricia, and Joy. So why? Go there. Face it. Face your shadow. It's not a good compass if you're just abusing it and you're just refusing to look at what you need to look at. You're repressing. The energies of that one that answered, everything in your field is calling out repression. Face it. Face your repressions. What are you hiding? Yes, you are. You're hiding. You want to make it sound as if poly is a great lifestyle. It isn't. You're repressing. And your soul knows it. You have partners that are substandard. Your connection and your intimacy is below standard. And you all know it because you're not happy. You're looking for your next poly partner. Am I right? Bingo. Go heal, please. Next question. One more question, please. The abusive way you look at your body is the way that you ultimately end up treating those around you. You have to go and heal. This is from source. This is from all of those that have been involved in low vibrational partnerships and relationships. We are healing, as we talked about 4 years ago, Commander Ashtar. This entire planet is looking at how we view relationships. What is relationship? What is your relationship with you? What is your relationship with God's source outside of religion? What is it? And then as you do your soul work every day, as you do your path work, as you do your shadow work every day, then you're going to start getting triggered by what you've been taught, told, or shown in religion and dogma, socioeconomic systems, lineage, akashic, familial lineages, all of these things that come at you because you took on beliefs that aren't yours. You took on beliefs that were just easy to take on because you didn't want to face anything. Okay, well, now you're going to have to face stuff. If you want to evolve, you have to face it. You cannot take a pill. You cannot jump over it. You cannot cheat your way through it. You have to do the work. You have to do the work. The doors will not open. Your consciousness will not grow. You cannot claim anything. You will not have anything called clout. You will not be ranked. You have to do the work. Sit down with spirit, go within and ask yourself the questions and do the work. Get a journal and do the work. Why did I choose what I chose? And do the work. You cannot fake your way through ascension. You cannot. You must earn the consciousness. You must do the purging. You must do the healing. You must face the wounding. You must face the abuses. You must face it. If you were sexually molested, if you were sexually raped, you need to face it. Because otherwise you're repressing everything you're doing sexually and intimately. You have no intimate connections whatsoever because there is an abuse there. You need to face it. How you treat yourself with your intimacy and your body is how you ultimately treat others. And then others will slowly move away from you because there is no intimate connection. There's no godly connection. And if you have no godly connection, you don't have a relationship. It's superficial. It's fake. That's why people choose a lot of poly partners, because they're looking for something real and tangible and intimate. You cannot get intimate if you're not real with yourself. It's fake. Fake, 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 fake. So that's fine. Own it. Be fake. But don't expect somebody that wants intimacy, that is godly, that is aligned, that is healed, to be with somebody that's fake. That's why I've told everybody from the past, stay gone. We have told you 8 million times, there's no alignment. We're not connected. There's no alignment. We're not aligned. I don't want anything that you want. We're not aligned. I want somebody that does the work. I want somebody that is intimate with themselves. I want somebody that's intimate with God. I want somebody that does the work. I want somebody that is intimately aligned, not bed hopping from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, trying to not face what they need to face. Do the work. I will never be poly. I will never be gay. I'm not going to go to sexual orgy parties. These things are not my thing because I've had to heal through people impaling me on it. And it's disgusting. I had to heal it. The people that do these things are people that are repressed and wounded. So people, I'm asking you, please heal because it's not okay. It's wounding. And then you have to ask yourself, it might sound all good and cool, and you might sound like a cool pimp daddy, puff daddy. You might sound like you're all this and you're all that. But really, is that your compass? Because it's not attractive on any level. It just isn't. Somebody that's truly aligned as a goddess would never choose that. We just wouldn't. It's not attractive on any level. It has no self-respect and no self-honor. Look after your bodies, people. Look after your bodies. Get healed. Work with Source Creator. Work with your teams. Get healed and stand up for yourself. Say, no, this is where I was at. I'm going to help people heal from this and I'm going to be owning it. And you claim it. And you say, I'm going to help the collective in this. This is where I was at and this is where I've come. God's going to walk you through that gate, but you have to do the work. Don't hide from it. Own it. Claim it. Stand up and be an owner of your path. Stop hiding from it. You have to face what you have done. You have to face what you've chosen. Why did you choose it? Face it. You have to face your stuff, people. Face the shadow. And then you can alchemize it. Then it turns into light. Then you start healing your body. You start alchemizing those demons in your body. You start alchemizing those diseases. That's how you become godly. Besides that, it's just hiding. Okay, so that's okay. Hide all you want. But don't expect somebody that doesn't want anybody, doesn't want to be in that category. I don't want to be in your story. You can't force people to be in your story. You've got to let people go. Let people go and get on with your own path. Be okay letting people go. Be okay stating who you are. I've been celibate for 15 years. I ain't going to give my sacred life force to anybody that is not held in the same regard. You have to come correct, which means you have to come healed. Know who you are. Clear out your sexual energy centers for at least a minimum of 6 months. Don't even come near me. Don't even come near me. If I've been celibate for 15 years, do you think I'm going to get naked with somebody that doesn't take their life force seriously? Seriously. This is what people think of me. People think that I'm stupid, and you can send me anybody to date me. This is what all these cults and covens think. They think they're just going to send somebody into me to date and open my legs, so they can infect me with their next disease, and they can shut down my defense. This is what they actually think. They actually do things like this. This is the mentality. This is the low consciousness of these people. Therefore, thus then, you've been misguided, you've been misinformed. If you want a higher consciousness, if you want to be higher intelligent, start looking after your body. Start calling source in. Start working with light, because you're not working with light. It's darkness, it's ignorance. You need to amplify your intelligence, and the only way to do that is with light. You're never going to be intelligent by sacrificing. You're never going to be intelligent by pretending you're swapping destinies. You're not. It's no longer valid anymore to be this way. You need to work on your light. And I'm sorry we have to say it that bluntly, but it's been 800 videos that we've been saying the same thing. Do the healing. I'm tired of being attacked. I'm tired of being covertly sandwiched in interviews. I'm tired of all these questions. I've said these things 800 times. Everybody from the past, you are forgiven. You have no weight with me. Carry on and get healed. If you want a healing session, then you can book it. PayPal.me/Joanna L. Ross. We can do collaborations, and I can do healing sessions for you. You're not going to touch me with your root work. You're not going to touch me with your shadow work. You're not going to touch me with anything. I've got so much surrounding me. I've got so much protection. God will not let anybody hurt me. The damage has been done. It's been irreparable, and enough is enough. If you're serious about healing, if you're pure of heart, then God will direct you. Otherwise, you're going to be moved far, far, far away, and you will absolutely be charged for the damages that have been done. You'll be charged for the theft. You'll be charged for the fraud. You'll be charged for the false accusations and ruining and defaming my life when you had no right to. I've been celibate. I've been telling the truth. Everything that I've said is 100% truth. I work for God. I am working with God. I'm here for the collective. Going through 5D gates. I am Celeste. I am a beautiful conduit. I'm a vibrational healer. I'm a vibrational teacher, and I will be moving around the world to assist humanity. I work for the collective federations. I work for the assemblies of light. This is who I am. I'm not changing. I'm going to move my way into leadership and divine global healing. I'm building bridges for the galactic federations and all that is light, because it's time for us to level up. I am that I am, and nobody will take my destiny from me. Please stop trying to force your way into my field, because you know God's going to bless me. You've had your time taking and raping. You've had your time harvesting and orgying off me. Leave me alone, please, and give me a day of peace. Thank you. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Is there any final questions for the collective? Any telepathic questions? Thank you for the beautiful, I have a couple of beautiful clients that have donated, and I had some dinner last night, so I had some beautiful food from your donations, and I love you so very much. Please ask the angels for anything that you'd like. The angels are looking to bless you. I've sent you angels that will walk with you and protect you and guide you. And thank you for your donations. From here on out, we're going to be very point blank with all of our teachings, dear lighted ones, because we have to be. This has been years and years and years of the same speech. Ascension is very easy. Work with your light. The only way up is with light. That is the only way up. You cannot cheat your way there or destiny swap your way there. You just can't, and you won't. You have to earn your consciousness. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So please, donations, if you want to book a session with me, classes, webinars, lectures. If you'd like me to come and do a private healing or a private clearing of the home, you can do that, and I can show you how. I need beautiful donations to get new equipment, because my laptop got stolen from living on the street. Obviously, as I'm sleeping out on the street until all the monies are sorted out, and all the people that have been stealing from me and blocking my inheritance and blocking the monies that have been meant to come to me way back 20 or 30 years ago. So I'm very grateful for those ones that have opened up their hearts and been so generous. I'm so very, very, very grateful. I'm so, so very grateful. Thank you to all the new followers. Thank you to all the new beautiful people in our fields. And thank you to everybody that's adding their unity consciousness to the collective. Make sure you just pay attention to the little things in life. It makes a big difference, and the little changes that you make in life by giving yourself positive affirmations, positive visualizations, and connecting and building a relationship with your teams in every moment. Spirit is everything. Spirit is everywhere. Relationship with this is in every moment that you breathe. So call in God to your breath, call in God to your love, call in God to bring in your body healthier light and beautiful light. And God is always with you, building a new body and building a new reality. And we love you, we love you, we love you so much. Welcome to New Earth Star, dear lighted ones. And we're wishing you a very beautiful and loving day. And namaste to each and every one of you. We love you, we love you, we love you. We love you, dear lighted ones. I hope you have a beautiful day.